All right, so I'm just going to teach you a little bit of this paper here. We'll be solving quadratic equations using square roots. So let me just start off by asking you this. What's the value of 3 squared? So we all know that means 3 times 3, so that would be 9, right? What's the value of negative 3 when I square it? It has parentheses, those are important. So this means negative 3 times negative 3, so also positive 9. So if you were told that there was a number that when you square it, it equaled 9, you would have to say to me that, well, there's 2 numbers that do that, right? So it has to be like positive or negative 3 would make that true, because you saw that up here, okay? So just knowing that, when you come to solve equations, there's another way to do this. You know, earlier, we solved by factoring. So I would tell you to bring this 9 to the other side and make it x squared minus 9 equals 0. And then we factored that into x plus 3 and x minus 3, and so we got our answers. We got negative 3 and positive 3, right? So we did that before. But when your equation only has an x squared and no other x's in the problem, then you can do something a little simpler. You can do the square root of both sides. So you know how in equations you can add a number to both sides, you can subtract, you can divide, multiply, so you can also do the square root. So the inverse operation of a square is a square root. So if you see a square equal to a number, you just say, hey, I want to take the square root to get rid of the square, and square root of that side. Now the only thing that you have to remember because of this idea up here is that these cancel each other out and your x pops out, because the square root of a square is that item. And you're going to put 3 here, but you have to remember to put a plus or minus because of what you learned up here. So x squared equals 25, square root, and I would say x equals plus or minus 5. Okay, so I get 2 answers still, one positive, one negative. Over here, square root, and so x equals, and I would just say plus or minus radical 7. I mean, square root of 7 can't be reduced, it would just be some decimal, so I just leave it like this. Usually I don't want the decimal answer. Over here, I'm ready to take the square root of both sides, and so x equals plus or minus square root of 12. Now 12 is large enough to where we can reduce it. 12 is 4 times 3, and then 2 and 2. So I'm going to say 12 is 2 radical 3. So my final answer would be plus or minus 2 radical 3. So reduce it if you can. And if you can't, like the 7, if it's a prime number, just leave it alone. All right, these down here, you're going to learn a little bit, maybe see a little bit of something about those in the video after this. But for now, we're going to do those in class next time. So we're going to skip that. All right, so let's look at this guy here. I have to clean this up. I have to get the x squared alone. So I want to add 36 to both sides. So now I have 4x squared equals 36. I'm going to divide by 4. I can only do the square root of both sides when the x squared stands alone. And this is equal to 9. Okay, you can't do the square root too early or it won't work out for you. Square root. So x equals plus or minus 3. Okay, all right, here I'm going to clean this up, get that x squared alone. So take away 10. Now notice, none of these problems have like a little x in them. Every x in there is being squared, so that's how I know I can do this. I get negative 25, x squared equals negative 49. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 25. This cancels, I get x squared. Now, 2 negatives make a positive, and 25 doesn't go into 49, so why don't I just leave it for now, 49 and 25. So take a look at what we have to do next. We have to take the square root. So when I take the square root, oh, well that's good. I know the square root of both of these numbers. So I'm just going to say x equals plus or minus. Square root of 49 is 7. Square root of 25 is 5. So 7/5, plus or minus 7/5. All right, this guy, I'm going to add 15 to clean that up. I still have 3/4. X squared equals 30 now. Oh, 15, sorry. And so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 4/3. So these all cancel, so I get x squared. So 3 goes into 30 10 times, so I'm going to say this is a 1 and that's a 10. So basically get a 40 over here. So it's all cleaned up now. I'm ready to apply my square root. Square root. So x equals plus or minus square root of 40. Now 40 is 4 times 10, so the square root of 4 is 2. 10 is not going to reduce, it reduces to 5 and 2, so we get x equals plus or minus 2 radical 10. That would be my final answer. Okay. All right, these two we'll have to do later because they have imaginary numbers, which you don't know yet. But let's take a look at this guy. So I do have a little x right here, but notice it is being squared. So we're just going to do the square root at a different time. We're going to get rid of the 8. I have x minus 4 squared equals 25 now. So I want to get rid of the square right now. I don't want to have to work this out. So that's fine. I can apply my square root now, and the x minus 4 pops out. But I still have to put plus or minus 5. Okay? So we're going to add 4 to both sides to finish this off. So when I do that, I'm going to stick that 4 in front of, because it's just a positive 4. So it's 4 plus or minus 5. So now I have, it's kind of like a quadratic formula, like we had the plus or minus in there. So now I have 2 answers. One of them is 4 plus 5, meaning it's 9, and the other one is 4 minus 5, meaning it's negative 1. So there are my 2 answers. All right, just got a couple more to do here. So up here, I'm going to get this part alone here. So plus 22, it's gone. So x plus 4 is squared. Now it's equal to 49. Okay, good. Square root, square root. I know the square root of 49 is 7. So x plus 4 pops out, plus or minus 7. So I'm going to take away 4. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put that 4 in front of this. But as it moves, it's going to change to a negative. So I can just kind of also think of it like this. It's negative 4 plus or minus 7. So my answer is negative 4 plus 7 is 3. Negative 4 minus 7 is negative 11. There's my answers. All right, and this last guy over here. Oh, we're going to have to add 12 to clean this up because I want to get this part all alone. All right, so I still got a 2. X plus 6 squared equals, now it's 54. So I could divide the 2 out. I can't multiply that 2 inside there, so divide both sides by 2. So I have x plus 6 squared equals 27. All right, so time to take the square root. Square root. So x plus 6 pops out. And plus or minus, I don't know the square root of 27 right off my head. So I do know that 6 is going to come over. So x equals, it's going to be negative 6 plus or minus radical 27. So let's check out 27. 27 is 9 times 3, and then 3 times 3. So 27 can be replaced with 3 radical 3. So let's just do that. Negative 6 plus or minus 3 radical 3. And there we go. All right, and these other ones with these green blobs, those are for next time. And I'll see you guys in class. So your homework, you did part of it right now. And then you just have to watch that next video in there. It just introduces you to imaginary numbers a little bit. And that's it. No problems to do, just your notes and watching that next video. Bye-bye.